So today I'm going to unbox a Trackslag downpipe that I've just purchased for my MK8 Golf R. And I'm also going to assess the ease of installing that downpipe. I was going to try and install the downpipe, but I ended up choosing to wait, and I'm going to show you why I made that decision. You can see here the Trackslag pipe is packaged very nicely. It came in perfect condition from the UK in a matter of 3 or 4 days to Canada. I didn't get stuck with any ridiculous duties and taxes because they properly declared it. This is an awesome pipe for the money. So check out this pipe. This Trackslag pipe is freaking massive. Like, look at how my fist fits in it. Look at the quality of the welds too. It seems like there's great penetration in all of them. Very sturdy bracket. You can also see that the keepers actually have something to keep on both ends. They almost look OEM. This bracket's very nicely done as well, as the spacing is kept consistent by it being one piece rather than two pieces tacked in. There's a split in the pipe where it attaches to this other pipe using one band clamp, and then there's also the adapter to the OE exhaust. This thing is crazy. So today I'm gonna either be trying to take the stock downpipe off my MK8 Golf R to install a new downpipe, or I'm at least scouting out how it might come out. So the 2024 Golf R. I had a downpipe on my old GTI, and I'm trying to figure out, basically, can this be done on jack stands? The pipe is a lot longer than front wheel drive, and obviously the prop shaft has to come out. Hopefully I can see down here. The bracket looks the same. Only major difference is there's a O2 sensor at the top, but that's kind of nothing. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at. You can see underneath as well. There's two cats. And the junction point is back here. It's back there.
But the two cats are after the portion that has to come out. So the real question here is the catalytic converter so much bigger, the one that's right after the turbo, that more stuff has to come out, or no? So I suppose the way I'm going to start this is I'm probably going to start, as with any downpipe, is I'm going to mold those two bolts on both the rear, that clamp, and then following that, it is going to be taking off the O2 sensors, taking off the bracket, V-band, and then I should be off to the races in theory. So I'm going to try and jack this up a bit higher, have it on the ramps as a starting point, and I should be able to report back shortly. So, the only other video I saw that's done this, I ended up dropping the entire subframe, which is pretty easy. I can do that in about a half an hour. But the big kicker is they also took the axle out. So for that, I need the stretch hardware. I'm not willing to reuse it. But also, if I have the prop shaft and the axle off, and the subframe, then to put a new clutch in, I just need to take one axle out and the top transmission mount. Additionally, at the same time, it's the perfect time to swap out the dog bone mount. So here I am, I'm baited. I think I'm gonna mission abort. And what I'm gonna choose to do is also have a clutch on standby. I'm gonna buy quick jacks and do both the clutch and the downpipe at the same time. I'm probably gonna wait until I have a bit of vacation time or something like that to do that. Because that catalytic converter, I know it's hard to see. That is definitely bigger than the Mark 7. And yeah, if I'm dropping the entire prop shaft and all that, I only want to do it once, right? So it makes sense to drive it for just a little longer on stage 1, and then once it's time to stage 2 it. Once it's time to stage 2 it, I will do it right and not skip the clutch. This is not a GTI anymore. I also don't have a very good 12-point socket, so yeah, so this is my, I guess, assessment of the doability on jack stands. It does look like you can do it on jack stands, but you have to take so much apart that I think for people with manual transmissions, it requires a bit more planning. So yeah, that's my assessment. Definitely stay tuned for a video on doing this install, but hopefully for anyone considering this job, I'm trying to get a few different angles of what it looks like when you're on the ground to see what you might be able to catch. In terms of the feasibility, like I can see that I definitely can access the O2 sensor easily. I definitely can access these prop shaft bolts. The 2 heat shields are going to be easy to take off. I've done a subframe on a Mark 7, so that's very easy to do. So the real thing is, it is maneuvering the downpipe out kind of in this area, you know, near where the right of the subframe is. So yeah, apologies for the slightly useless video, but this is answering the question of whether you can do it on jack stands. And I think the assessment is yes, but it looks hard AF. So I'm going to plan this out to make my time worth it. So I looked into this a little more because I can't find any concrete instructions on how to do this on a North American car from start to finish. 034 has some instructions for an S3, and they actually do drop the front subframe. However, they don't take out the front axle. So you can see in their instructions, they lower the subframe, support the steering rack, and then take the O2 sensor off and just take the downpipe out, quote unquote, carefully. Meanwhile, I also saw one video by TR Hamza from last year on an OPF car, so that's an ROW car in Europe, and he did take out what would be the passenger side axle on my car, so the right axle. That said, I have a North American car, so an NAR car, which does have different cats because there are no PF. So I'm not sure, is the cat on the European car bigger or not? I do know somebody who has done this job, and they did it recently, and they said that they did have to take out one of the axles. However, I'm not sure if he might have done that just because he saw TR Hamza's video or saw another video of a European car, or if he actually had to, because he did it on a North American car. I didn't get much details, it's just from a conversation. So I'm hoping to answer this in a future video, but I am gonna plan it out way more and try and get 2 to 3 things done at the same time if that front subframe's coming down, because I do like to replace my stretch bolts. So thanks for watching, and I hope this video might have helped some people who are trying to collect information on doing this install for themselves, because I couldn't find this information anywhere, let alone in one place. So thanks again for watching.